Hi, Original Soul. Welcome in. I guess this video started recording before I hit record, so I don't really know what happened there, but let's go ahead and get started. I hope you're doing really well. I've got 6 oracle cards out here. Everything wanted to come out in 2s today, at least for these cards. So we'll walk through those, add some tarot to it. Today I'm going to be using the Wise Dog Tarot in honor of my pup who is 5 years old today. So happy birthday to my Lincoln boy. But all right, we'll jump into it. I hope you're doing really well. I kind of like how this video unexpectedly started. Maybe something unexpected comes up for you. At least with the oracle cards, we'll see what happens when we get tarot involved. This is definitely inner dialogue, inner growth, connecting to higher self, maybe relying on your faith and spirituality and handing something over to the universe or to God, whatever higher power you align with. And so you might be praying a little bit more as you're looking to your future and trying to let something go from the past. But like I said, maybe something unexpectedly sort of comes up or pops up, or something you thought you had healed from resurfaces, that sort of thing. All right, so let's go over the cards here. We've got the Rattle and Upper World. All right, and the Rattle is prayer. It is that call to the spiritual world. I'm seeing black and white feathers on this card, and that's been coming up quite a few times in recent readings. So maybe you see black or white feathers while you are out and about in nature, or it could pop up on your feed. So maybe take that as a sign from spirit. The black and white signifying balance, right? Those opposites, but how those polarities can balance each other out. And then Upper World, I don't know if you connect at all to any higher light beings, but this is about the higher realms. It is about your higher self, and sort of that connection to that universal consciousness, the universal knowing, where you might be able to tap in more to your purpose and to that sort of future self or your soul self. Right, and then we've also got out the Crone and Return to Source. A lot of earthy colors. Almost every chakra is represented here, but a lot of browns and earthy colors, so definitely getting out into nature. Then we also have really strong blue for throat and purple for your third eye. So dream space connection again. With the Crone, this is wisdom. It is having a lot of life experience where you are at a point where you either have or you are ready to accept yourself and accept that things ebb and flow, that things do come to an end, that new things will begin, that there are cycles. All of these cards also have circles on them. So circles in some way, shape, or form may be significant. We'll get into it in a minute, but maybe even a bubble, some sort of bubble of either protection or light. Maybe you do that as in a meditation. So yeah, the Crone is the wisdom you've gained, and it is getting to that point of acceptance. And then Return to Source. This goes right along here with this Upper World. Again, if you've had a situation, especially recently, or just something from your past, again, that might be resurfacing, and it seems like it's something that you really want to let go of, or you should let go of, and you're having a hard time doing it. And so, again, going back to, right, maybe prayer or faith or accepting the way things are and then handing that over to spirit so you can let that go and move on to your next chapter. Right, and then out of the herb deck, we've got Dandelion, Perseverance. I just knew that card was going to come out. I saw it before I started shuffling. And then Pocket of Protection, and there's that bubble again right there. So again, more of the brown, earthy colors that we've got here with the Rattle, Crone, and now Dandelion, Perseverance. So again, you've had a lot that you've had to go through. You've had to persevere. But as Dandelion reminds us, right, she doesn't do that in a way where she is a martyr. And maybe that's something that's been hard, to be positive through. But Dandelion is more cheerful, right? That beautiful bright yellow. I know a lot of people don't appreciate dandelions. I love them. My kids love them. I don't care if they're in my yard. Much to the dismay probably of my neighbors. But again, that's that bright, cheery disposition, being excited for what's coming next in the next adventure, right? And Dandelion's able to grow even through difficult circumstances. Think about how you might see one popping up through a sidewalk, near other plants, through little cracks and crevices. So I love the message of this card of taking on that positive approach, right? Because you've accepted, shit's going to happen during your lifetime. Not all of it will be maybe seen or felt as a positive, but it's all necessary for growth. And then with Pocket of Protection, right, knowing you are protected from source, from the universe, from even higher light beings that are here to help assist you and help transmute some of those things that we have a harder time letting go of. You might even imagine yourself in a bubble. Maybe I'll record a meditation around this, of sort of this white light. Feel that bubble around you, right? And know it has enough permeability that, right, the negative things can seep out, and that can go out to the higher light beings that know what to do and how to heal that energy. And positive things, prayers, uplifting words for yourself can come in from the spirit world, from those light beings, even from your higher self, to help give you more of that positive boost. So a lot of inner growth, inner work, letting go. Have you been in a more heavy period recently, or having, again, emotions come back up to the surface? All right, we'll get a couple cards here. Actually, before we do the dog tarot, hiding behind my coffee, let's get just a couple out of this Curiosity deck and just see what pops out of here. Saw Backstab, Dirty Laundry. This came out last week as well. So as I've been talking about things resurfacing and coming back up, it could be something that you thought you had buried really deep, or something that you had even maybe avoided, not wanted to deal with. But energy has this way of not staying buried forever. So noticing those feelings and thoughts, and maybe doing your best to not push those down and away. We got quite a few here. Ooh, villain vibes. They're never the villain of their own story, so that's some of that martyr energy. But something about someone's vibe isn't right. So trusting your instincts, or maybe you've been involved with someone in the past that you did trust and it ended up not working out the way you had hoped. We've also got Drama Queen here, going right along again with the martyr vibes. Fake profile and chasing clout. And I just did a reading recently too that did have this false person and that energy come up. So This could have to do with maybe what you're trying to let go of, whether this is an old version of yourself that has maybe acted in some of those ways, or again, someone that you had really trusted and let into your inner circle, whether it was family, friends. Again, there's that circle energy coming up, or even romance, and you've had an experience that involves now a lesson that needs to be learned, and that could have been painful. All right, now let's get into adding the tarot. Now that we got that out of the way. All right, so we've got 2 with rattle. Let's see here. 6 of Cups and the Moon. Look at those sweet little dogs. Look at that dog looking at his reflection. So definitely you are taking time to reflect. When I'm recording this, full moon is coming up in just a day. So that's also a really great time to reflect. Things can be illuminated. Things start to come up from the surface, at least energetically. 6 of Cups. Look at these beautiful flowers in the cup. Definitely something from the past. Could be all the way back from your childhood or with a childhood friend. But some sort of past relationship that you are reflecting on here. And again, you may need to do some cord cutting, or, you know, add in, like I said, even prayer to start to release that and really start to let it go so you can heal and move on. With the upper world, we've got 9 of Pentacles. Noticing the feathers on that bird would be black and white. All right, 9 of Pentacles is focusing on yourself. It's getting your energy right and clear. So like I said, doing this work, this reading is definitely focused pretty much just on you, right? Releasing some of these other people or situations. But that is really focusing on building up your energy, grounding more. I think we already mentioned maybe getting outside with all the earth tones that are out in this reading. And lots of flowers so far on these cards too. So maybe go buy yourself flowers or go walk in a garden. That's one of my favorite spots with my dog. We have a really beautiful community garden locally. And of course, everything is starting to bloom here now that we're into summer. With Crone, we've got High Priestess and 10 of Cups. Anyone ever watch the show Lassie? All right, so High Priestess and Crone. Noticing too, look at both of these have that moon in the exact same spot here on this card. Beautiful crescent moon there. But yeah, with High Priestess, again, that is going internal, understanding your intuition, focusing on that self-acceptance. And with some of the energy that came out of that curiosity deck of things maybe coming up to the surface, and I know I touched on that at the beginning, things that maybe wanted to be avoided, that's sort of not keeping those things a secret from yourself, right? You can't hide from yourself no matter how much you try. So yeah, definitely being honest with yourself and really letting yourself start to open up internally so you can begin to heal. And with the 10 of Cups, that is emotional healing. And that is, again, when you start to accept some of the things that happened and know, right, we need those experiences to maybe boost us in a certain direction forward, or for us to make a change, right? If everything was always perfect, it would be really hard to go after something new or want to even grow or want to transform. So yeah, definitely transformation energy with your emotions, with your heart space, and finding more of that acceptance. All right, let's see here. All right, with Return to Source. Knight of Wands. Look at that little boy there with that stick, off on some sort of new adventure. So this is being more determined to start to set out on a new path. Noticing there's horses in the background of this card. So also a sense of freedom and liberation coming out of this reading as well. And when you are able to finally really let something go and then move forward with more fire, with more passion, with determination, and really release things to the universe, let things stay in the past, notice how much freer your energy will feel. You're going to feel lighter, more excited, because you're not weighed down, right? Even though we can't put energy on a scale and get an exact weight, right? You know those days even where you wake up and like your body feels heavier, it's harder to move, even thinking can be difficult, right? It's like you're kind of moving through mud or molasses. Right, so definitely doing energy clearing. Maybe you do meditation, Reiki, or some other type of activity, yoga, walking, running, boxing, whatever it may be, but something to, kind of cleanse each chakra and get yourself back into alignment. All right, with Perseverance, Dandelion, 2 major arcana. We've got the Hermit, number 9, and Death, number 13. Transformation isn't always easy, but right, remembering to stay in the positive energy, the positive vibes, right? Knowing you're going to go through experiences. Not all of them are going to be always feeling pleasant or positive, right? But you are in charge of the way you respond and your own energy. Again, nothing wrong with being sad or angry. All of those things are going to come up throughout life. But noticing when you tend to make that kind of who you are, or, how would people describe you? Are you a positive person? Do you light up the room when you come in? Are you one of those people that, it can be harder to be around because everything is always negative, everything's always bad, more of that martyr syndrome? All right. Hermit, along with High Priestess and the Crone. Again, learning the lessons, gaining the wisdom. Also with the Moon and that reflection. So a lot of heavy reflection and letting go in this reading. And that's what brings on transformation. That's what might let you go into that more sunny disposition as opposed to the doom and gloom mindset. All right, and then with Pocket of Protection. Queen of Wands. So I love this energy moving forward, fire energy, and with the 9 of Pentacles that we got out earlier too, being self-sufficient, self-supportive, knowing your worth. This could be your creative spark coming back, right? You're ready to kind of fix your crown and move forward. Where else did I see crowns? Oh yeah, on the corners of this card. So feeling much more aligned, much more in the positive outlook. Right, once you've cleared your energy, maybe put yourself in that bubble for a while, right? You're ready to come out, right? Sort of on fire. Something is lit. Okay, let's see. Archangel Michael had 3 messages that wanted to come out. So let's see what these might be. Again, reflection isn't always easy. That can feel really heavy, but it does feel lighter, brighter, and more solid moving forward, like solid in a good way, in a confident way. Being ready to move in a new direction. So this is really positive. All right. All right, take time. Take your time making this decision. So definitely reflect. Again, tune out the noise. Tune more in to yourself and your spirit team to help make the right choice. Your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. We've talked about that quite a bit already with the Hermit, the High Priestess, the Crone, even the Moon card. And then be gentle with yourself. Taking out any shame, blame, guilt, frustration, and moving more into that acceptance, more loving energy, grounding yourself, right? Building your own confidence. All right, great messages from Archangel Michael. Let's see here. Let's get a spirit animal guide before we close this reading out. All of them want to come to support you. That was a little bit awkward or fumbled, so again, healing isn't always graceful, let's say, but definitely allow yourself grace. And it's okay if there's situations that you have fumbled in the past. None of us are perfect. I'm trying to remember what one of the cards said. Every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. All right, and maybe most of us are a little bit of both. All right, let's see here. Endurance, the llama, right along with perseverance. This is such a cute deck. I love these cards. All right, Endurance, the llama. And I haven't really read much from this book. Number 17 on this card. So let's just see here if there's anything helpful out of the book. The llama symbolizes steady progress and the ability to navigate life's long journeys with grace. What did I just say about grace? This card encourages you to embrace patience and maintain a steady pace, understanding the lasting achievements require time and consistent effort. Trust in your ability to carry your burdens without losing sight of your goals. Continue moving forward at a sustainable pace. Steady commitment will guide you through challenges and towards success. So how can you balance steady effort with self-care? That might be a good question for yourself or something to journal on. Am I allowing myself to rest when necessary, or am I overextending? And what long-term goals need my consistent attention and energy? All right, I love that from Llama. Right, this card is sticking out to me almost the most here. So getting more into your Nine of Pentacles, knowing how much energy you can give versus how much you need to sustain whatever it is that you want to do as you move forward and as you let go of something from the past. All right, so that is what we've got here for this message. I hope there was something here for you. If something here resonated, leave me a like, send me a comment, or maybe you get crazy and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, that is what we've got here this week for this reading. And until next time, peace.